Okay, everyone, thank you for joining us for another cracking interview. And today I've got lined up Mr. Ian Dickson. He's got some incredible stories. So without too much to do, I'm just going to let the man introduce himself and what he's about. So please welcome Ian Dickson. Thank you for your time, Ian.
No problem, James. Thank you very much. As James says, I'm Ian Dickson. I'm the CEO of Gladiators Ireland, plus director of IFC. Now, my sort of journey, as James and I was speaking earlier on, I just didn't drop in the mountain into Gladiators. This all started back when I was young. To be precise, probably 8 years of age. I lived in Lisburn, Northern Ireland. I was born and bred in a place called the Low Road, and we were a mixed community. My next door neighbour was a Catholic, I was a Protestant, and so on and so forth. And we all used to mix together, and we all used to play. My mother and father's idea of kids having a good time was to give us a kick up the backside, and kick us out the front door, and basically say, "Fill your boots." So basically, that's what we did, and we got up to things that kids nowadays would probably end up in jail for, if I could say the least. It started off with throwing stones, playing cowboys and Indians, swimming in the lagoon, jumping off the bridge, swimming in the lagoon. Just basically kids' rough stuff where we were back then. And then I got to the stage where my father said to me, "Will I tell you, son, too rough out there, we'll put you in the boxing club." And I thought, oh shit, I'm getting into a boxing club, what's going to happen here? So I got down to a boxing club, and it was like being at home. Now, I'm talking my early teenage life, and get into a boxing club with all these professionals, of which I thought, but it was called the Canal Boxing Club. And threw into the ring against this other young lad who thought, I'm only here too. And he says, "Look, don't be hitting me hard." I says, "Don't be hitting me hard because I've just come tonight." He says, "Well, I'm just here tonight." He says, "If I hit you hard, they're going to pick me. And if I hit you hard, they're going to pick me." So he hit me, and I lost the head, and I knocked him out. So basically, I got picked for every event that was going on and everything that was going in the boxing club. And as life progressed, school, so on and so forth, I sort of got a bit harder to my surroundings and the people around me, and started getting into more and more mischief. It got to the point where I was sort of 13, 14 years of age, and my mother and father separated, which sort of sent me over the edge. And when I say sent me over the edge, I used to try going down this massive big hill on a skateboard and fall off it to see how much it would hurt me, and then stole my father's car, crashed it into the building to see how much that would hurt me, and it goes on. And my father and myself came to the decision when I was 15, 16 years of age, enough's enough. You're either going to end up in the paramilitaries or you're going to end up in the army. It's your choice. Take a choice. So my father actually made that choice for me. I ended up, when I was 16 years of age, saying, right, the army it is. So I was marched off down to, at an early age, down to Palace Barracks in Hollywood, signed up for the army, and that was me away. That was me in the army, in training for God knows how long. It was 20, 22 weeks. A young boy put into this here, and I thought it was great. It was brilliant. Mucked the gills, shooting, doing whatever you wanted to do, getting screamed at, getting shouted at, getting beasted. It was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. So, was in the depot training, and yet again, the pass came back to have me. They wanted us in the boxing team in the gym. I was like, right, okay, well, we'll give this a go and see how it goes this time. So two of the men that took us round to the gym and they said, right, there's leather gloves. Get on with it, pick a pair, pick a partner, and start hitting each other. I was like, right, okay, dead on. So I remember this as plain as the face on my shoulders. A guy called Ian Goodman. He said to me, he says, look, don't hit me hard. I said to him, don't hit me hard. I says, because they're going to pick me for the boxing team or they're going to pick you. I says, so, you know, don't hit each other hard. Let's just get through out of it. They'll pick somebody else. So yet again, Ian banked me that hard with these massive, big, brown leather gloves. I wouldn't have called them boxing gloves. They're milling gloves. And he hit me that hard. My head swung. So I got laced into him. And the next thing, one of the instructors said, right, Dickson, that's you. You're in the boxing team. I said, that's dead on, no problem. So while training, I was training to be a boxer as well as being in the army. And this went on for 22 weeks. Finished my time training and was shipped out to the unit. And yet again, this happened in the unit once again. Now, they did warn us that this was going to happen. They did say, turn and say, like, we'll take you to the gym. You might get picked for the boxing team, you might not, because they had records from the depot, blah, blah, blah. Believe you're a good boxer and so on. So, same thing. And me and Ian Goodman got the gloves again in the gym when we went to unit. And I got picked for the boxing team. So, I spent about a year in the boxing team in the battalion of the Royal Irish Rangers, where I come across Lawrence Anthony Canavan, who then became my best friend. Lawrence was from Cork. Now, Lawrence was in the boxing team for a very short period of time because he changed jobs. But we got on that well. We went to the gym together. We've done everything together. We basically said, in the gym at a certain stage, like, wouldn't it be great if we could form some sort of organization where we could take over the fighting world, the combat sports world. Now, bear in mind, we were only 17, 18 years of age. Now, we were very young, very naive at that sort of stage, but mature enough to make decisions. Sure. So Lawrence had said to me, said, Ian, I think we could actually do this. Now, this is going back in the early 80s, the very early 80s. Now, the very early 80s, people didn't want to stand out and say, I want to do this, I want to do that. Because back then in the army, if you volunteered for something, that was you. You were the boy for the job. You know what I mean? So I learned at a very quick stage, a very early stage, not to volunteer. And if you wanted to speak about something, speak to your friends. Never involve anybody else, only your friends. So me and Lawrence came up with this idea, right? I think we should do that. I think we should work our way forward. Don't know how long we're going to be here. Don't know how big our career is going to be, so on and so forth. So over a period of years, must be 18 months, 2 years, Lawrence got posted out. I get posted out. We went to different countries. I went to Falklands. Went to Bosnia, we went to Serbia. We're all around the world, basically, America and so on and so forth. And in the midst of all this, when we had time, we were training, we were in the gym, we were boxing, we were tagging, we were doing whatever we needed to do. We were in stretching out, doing martial arts. And then Lawrence, he got posted to the regimental police, which was quite handy because the regimental police had their own gym. So we all done martial arts there. I went in and done martial arts with Lawrence, sort of progressed over the years and went up to black belts and stuff. And I done just over 16 years in the army. And in and out in different postings. Lawrence was the same, basically. And we lost contact. So never seen Lawrence for a brief few years. Knew he was in England, knew he was doing bits and pieces, but it was his time soon to sign off. We all knew what sort of time period everybody had. I got posted out back to Northern Ireland. At this stage, I was married and had a child and was posted back to Northern Ireland and was working on the depot. Now, I had completely lost contact with Lawrence, completely lost contact with different bits and pieces and different people, but I was still carrying on with martial arts work, still training, still fighting, still doing what I had to do, doing competitions left, right, and centre. And as I say, I was on the depot, and then I eventually came out of the army, got divorced, came out of the army, and basically disappeared for a while and went fighting like to Bangkok, Philippines, and different places. Sort of had bare knuckle fights, went to France in the underground, done my own thing. Some people might say I was crazy. Went into the underground, just done what I did, come out with an envelope, walked away. Give me a bit of money to help sort things out, bits and pieces, and then, you know, took it from there. Sort of retired from that, possibly around about 2000, 2001, and got a normal job. Normal job didn't suit me. 9 to 5, it was boring, the backside cleaned off me. So I decided to go, here's me, well, I'll sign back up again, we'll go global. So I went to a firm called Global, who sent me straight into Afghanistan. Spent roughly about 15, 16 months in Afghanistan. Got a bit of money together, got sorted out, come back here. And then got onto Facebook, started looking for different jobs, different bits and pieces when I come out. Lo and behold, came across Lawrence. And I was like, is that Lawrence Canavan? He's in the Philippines. I was over there and I knew nothing about him. That is Lawrence. So I got on the blower straight away. And he said, Lawrence, it's Ian here. And he texted me back, Ian Dickson? I said, yes. He says, how are you, brother? I says, I'm brilliant. I says, how are you and where are you and what are you doing? So we rekindled everything and spoke for hours and hours on the phone and told each other what we were doing. And he said, you know, this is the journey. He says, this is it. He says, this is our reconnection. He says, this is us coming out of the flames. The phoenix has rose. He says, let's do this. Let's crack on. Let's get this sorted. I was like, right, happy days. Let's do this. So basically, I opened up a gym. Cut a long story short, in Lisburn. Got it all fitted out, cages and all, etc., etc. Had a few bumps, bruises along the way. Excuse the pun. Different things happened, and basically, I was fighting for my life for the gym to try and make it survive. It wasn't surviving, and I was thinking, what am I going to do here? I have so much money in this, and I don't know which way I'm going to turn here. I built this gym myself from the inside out, from the paintwork right up, fitted everything. I stand back looking at one night and said to Lawrence, you know, this is going to work. This is definitely going to work. We were throwing ideas amongst each other back and forth. And the whole idea, I had the gym, it was Cobra Kai military boot camp, or Cobra Kai Gladiators boot camp. And just got to the stage where I just couldn't put in anymore. I couldn't do anymore. I couldn't focus on what I needed to do. And I got this phone call, or I got this text message one day from a guy called Michael Obi. And Michael was in the K1. Michael, he has his own gym, Olympus Gym, the Iron Gym, and so on. And he just basically said to me, how you doing? How's things? I was like, who are you? And he said to me, and I said, I says, well, I'm not doing too good. I says, I'm struggling at the minute to get bits and pieces. And Michael says, well, we'll have to meet up some night for a coffee, you know, talking. So he says, I'm partnering the Iron Gym in Lisburn. If you want to call around. I says, no problem. I'll call around, maybe have a cuppa and see how things are going, see what we'll talk about. So me and Michael went in, introduced each other. Michael says, I just knew from the minute I texted you, he says, that I was sent to do that. He says, your face just came up on Facebook as the gym and Cobra Kai and all this. And I says, well, oh, I got the sort of same feeling. So we introduced each other. Michael says, that's a cracker t-shirt you have on. That was Cobra Kai t-shirt, boot camp. He says, that's cracker. He says, I love it. Who designed that? So I explained all. Lawrence had designed it, we had designed it, and so on and so forth for the cage fighting. He says, I'd love one of them. I says, well, I'll go out the car here and I said, get me a couple. He says, there you go. There's a couple of t-shirts. He says, that's brilliant. And started talking about my life and what we wanted to do and what me and Lawrence wanted to do and so on and so forth. And he says, you know, we're talking away here. He says, I've got a very fella. He says, you know, you and him will get on like a house on fire. He says, you need to meet him. He says, because you and this boy, I says, well, what do you call this boy, Michael? He says, you call him John Clark. I says, John Clark. I says, don't really know the name. He says, John is just one in a million, you know. And I says, right, well, I says, we'll set up a meeting, you know, one, see what we'll have to say to each other and stuff. And meantime, I was going through the hardship of the gym and stuff. Things were working out. There was a lot of things going on with the family. I mean, I have 9 kids, James.
Goodness me.
You know, I have very busy, mate. I have 9 kids, 2 older ones, and I have 7 under 10.
Goodness me.
You know, so the youngest one is 2 years old. So I was juggling everything, and you know, the family and everything just getting on top of me and the whole lot. I was like, I'm just going to walk away here from the gym. And then I thought, no, Michael, you know, I'll speak to John and see what the crack is here. So he spoke to John, and then basically John had said, I'd met John, very funny, he made the phone call, we'd arranged to meet, and John said, like, we can meet Dunn Stores car park. And I pulled up the Dunn Stores car park, couldn't see John anywhere, and then Michael had phoned me and said, John's inside Dunn Stores car park. So I drove in, John was standing there, and as soon as 2 seconds we had clapped eyes in each other, and we both knew this is the start of everything. This is the birth of Cage Gladiators. This is the birth. This is all the stuff going through my head. You know what I mean? And John seen the t-shirt as well, and I showed John the t-shirt. Me and John had a real good talk for 35, 40 minutes. And John said to me, he says, this was meant to happen. He says, this is destiny. He says, this is our destiny. We were put in this universe to do this. He says, John, you've just taken the words right out of my mouth. He says, John, I'm an ex-soldier. John says, I'm an ex-IRA man. He says, I was on one side and you were on the other side. We're both fighting a war. And I says, yeah. And we were like, it was like 2 brothers meeting again. You know what I mean? We were that close from them seconds. And there was no barriers, there was no borders, there was no nothing. There was no, you're a Catholic, you're a Protestant, you're this, you're that. It was bang, straight away, brothers. And even to this day, you know, me and John would ring each other, text each other, and go, how are you, bro? Is everything all right? You're doing all right? Yep. And God bless. We'll saying goodbye. God bless. And then, you know, love you like a brother. You know, and it's amazing. It's amazing. And everything that I have asked for from that moment on, in my head, it has come to reality. You know, and John is exactly the same. Every thinking pattern that I have, John has. Everything that we're thinking about, talking about, it's like we're twins. It's uncanny. It really is. And so anyway, back to the meeting in Dunn Stores car park. I said to John, I says, you know, we'll open a gym or something, because basically that's what I was there to do. And John was there to give me a hand. I was already opening a gym. But for some unknown reason, it just went the opposite direction. You know what I mean? The gym was so far out of the way, it was unreal. This is what we're going to do. I had spoke to him about Lawrence, told him me and Lawrence had planned all them years ago, and everything just fell into the right circles. I said, John, right, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. I said, right, we're going to do it. This is what we're going to do. So then started Kids Gladiators Ireland, started IFC, started 3 or 4 different companies here. Now, talking to Lawrence, between me, John, and Lawrence, we got talking, we got it all sorted out. This is what we're going to do. And from that moment that we all spoke and had text messages and so on and so forth, my phone never stopped. There was people getting in contact with me from years and years ago. These are class A fighters, big pro fighters, saying to me, Ian, how you doing? What about you? How's things? And I was explaining to them, you know, this is what we're doing. This is what we're moving on forward to. This is how we're projecting the stuff. You know, we're going to put Kids Gladiators Ireland on the forefront here. And from that moment on, them blokes that I spoke to, excuse me, it was like a domino effect.
Yes.
Bang, 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 bang. I had the phone going, friends from all over the world saying, Ian, how you doing? These all happen to be big fighters, big pro fighters. You know, there was people, we have contracts everywhere, 20 different countries. I mean, with Ireland, UK, France, Germany, Romania, Italy, Spain, Brazil, Uzbekistan, Iran, to name a few. You know what I mean? So we have directors in all them companies.
Yeah.
And each one of them directors, each one of their fighters actually knows me. You know what I mean? So we're sitting at this stage with 15, 16, I think it's maybe 1,800 fighters that know me at this moment in time from the past. And these are guys that, you know, I've met in America, I've met Canada, or I've met Cyprus, or basically all over the world. These guys are going, Ian, we knew you were going to do this one day. We just knew you were going to do this one day. We're on board. Get us registered here. Get us in there.
Lovely.
And, you know, it's just snowballed.
Yes.
Snowballed.
I wanted to ask you, how is the current, we're dealing with this current pandemic, has that sort of put the brakes on what you've got planned? But how are you preparing for when it's all over?
But this is a good thing that this pandemic, so-called pandemic, has actually happened, because it's given us time for preparation, a lot more time for preparation.
Yes.
A lot more time to move forward quickly, rather than, you know what I mean?
Yes.
It's allowing myself, John, and Lawrence to basically get everything sorted out, get all the I's dotted, all the T's crossed, get it out there, and tell the blokes, look, this is what we're going to do. We now have 20 or so Cage Gladiators in different countries.
Yes.
So we have directors there. What we're going to do is we're going to push it out there. We are going to have a tournament, a year's tournament, and we're going to have a fight in every country every month for a year. And each one of them country directors are going to put their best fighters forward. They're going to put them to the forefront. They're going to get them all. And each country will do that as we go around them. And come the end of that year, we will put on the biggest show on earth in Ireland. The biggest show, the Gladiators, the king of Gladiators. We will come out there and we will show everybody who we are. And the likes of all these boys in UFC, I have so much admiration for them, because it takes balls to get into that cage. If you've got the balls and if you want a career and you want to go to the top, Cage Gladiators is the ticket. I will take each and every one of them up to the top of their fighting game. I will take each and every one of them the AFC, International Fighting Championships, and I will put them on the TV, on Sky. I will show them a lifestyle, and they will have a lifestyle that will help them, help their families, and it will help other people.
Definitely. Ian,
I'm not about money, James.
no, I know that. When you talk, your passion is so obvious and clear. Can I ask, Ian, where does that, you spoke about your participation in the fight game, but where does that passion to see other young men fulfill their promise in the fight game, where does that come from, Ian?
That comes from poverty. That comes from people who have got talent, who have never been able to show that talent, who have been passed by other people and people who have money and just want money for the game. I want to put my money into people who need it. People, I want to give people, I don't care if I've only £1 in my pocket. Doesn't bother me. Money never reared me. If a fighter wants to go to the top, I'll pay for him to go to the top. I'll give him my last penny. If fighters' families are in difficulty, we'll show them. We'll show them it's not about money. It's about who they are and what we want to do for them.
Yes.
You know, this is all about, it's not about power. It's not about money. It's about people.
Lovely.
It's about helping people.
Yes.
It's about looking after people. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I don't love money. I don't love power. I love people. And if you look after the people on this planet, they will look after you. And from that day I made that decision. Stepping in that ring is no easy feat. No easy feat. And some of these young boys, they just need a break. Just need a break. And, you know, my philosophy on my company, it's as simple as this. My fighters will get the best of everything. They will get the best of flights. They will get the best of hotels. They will get the best of everything when they're coming to events. If my fighters are signed up with me, they will get a pension. Now, that pension will provide them and their family, when they retire out of the combat sports game, will provide them with a lifetime income. Now, that pension has provided me with a lifetime income. Now, I believe that people are looking for security, especially in today's age. And most fighters now, when they retire or they can't fight anymore, basically, in the combat sports game, they're knackered. They're coming out, they don't have any money. You know, they're skint. But with this, I will offer them a pension. The pension will be there for them, will help them through the rest of their lives. And we are a family. Cage
great stuff.
As a family.
We're coming to the close of, and we will pick this up in part 2, and there'll be much more to come. But Ian, I just wanted you to speak on, if you can briefly, how are Ireland's, are you finding the regulations of being able to host the fights? Is that going as you like? Is that quite flexible? Is it working?
It's very difficult at this moment in time because, again, over here you have councils in different districts and different towns, and they will put up a barrier because they don't see cage fighting as a sport. Basically, nothing's impossible.
No.
There's nothing impossible, and I will break that impossibility to get the possible, and I will put fights on here, and I will show people that there's nothing bad about cage fighting. There's nothing bad about the BKB scene or the boxing scene.
No.
And we will pump money into the country if it needs it. I mean, the amount of stuff we would be bringing into the likes of Belfast City, you know, big money through people coming in and staying in the hotels, through people flying in.
Sure.
You know, it would be unreal. You know, but they have to actually see this.
Yeah.
You know, and it's going to happen.
Well,
very quickly.
I think you're right, Ian, because I'm sure the precedent has been set with, certainly, if not the UFC, I think Bellator, whatever, they brought over someone to Belfast. So I think the tide is changing, my friend.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is it. I mean, again, as you say, you can get people popping up in the likes of the SSE and doing the all we fight here and there. We're here to stay, mate. We're here to stay. Nobody's going to push me out.
No.
I'm here. I'm here, and we will grow, and we will help people. We will look after people, and we will entertain people. It's not a fight that we're putting on. It's a show. This is a show. You go in for a night's entertainment, you will go in and you will see a show from start to finish, and you will be entertained that much you will want to come back and see it again.
Yeah, no, you're right. That's what it's about, the entertainment as well. And with that being said, have you found other like-minded people to help towards the entertainment? And I was thinking about sponsorship, Ian. Are people beginning to come forward and in terms of sponsorship or sponsors?
Well, there's a good friend of John's and myself, Dave Bell. He runs Section 75 events.
Right.
Now, Dave's been doing the events for years and years and years, and he can bring in A-list groups, A-list singers from all over the world. You know what I mean? And myself, I know quite a few. John knows quite a few in the music industry. Right. And I mean, with sponsors, with Wave sponsor in USA, who sponsors all our clothing and certain events and stuff.
Yeah.
So, again, we're looking, I'd be looking personally if I could bring somebody on like BMW, like homegrown here, BMW, bring them on board, give them positions in what do you call it, in the stages and stuff, and put advertising up for them in the rings, the cages, but looking somewhere along down that line. Lovely. But yeah, everything's coming together.
Magic. Oh, that's Ian. I'm so pleased to hear it. Just in closing for today, can you just give us a few social media content, like the website or the Facebook page, where that people can find and check out your stuff, please?
Yes, mate. cagegladiators.com is where any fighter can register or anything like that there on the registration page. Plus, they can go on to cagegladiators.com and have a good look at all our stuff. It'll bring into the social platforms the likes of Messenger, Facebook, Twitter, and so on and so forth. Good. And myself personally, people can come in and friend request me, fighters and stuff, and certainly, I'll talk to them and see what the crack is.
Yes.
And I say, I'm looking to do a press release very, very shortly when all this sort of stuff blows away,
Lovely. Yeah. So, Ian, if there are people watching that either themselves or their family members, their friends or associates, if they are thinking about starting a career, are you actively recruiting fighters, and can they contact you?
Big time, James. Any fighter can contact me through Facebook, through Messenger, through anything like that there. I'll certainly talk to them and I'll get them registered, get them on board with us.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, Ian, we are going to continue this conversation, my friend, but I wanted to thank you for your time today, and it's been amazing hearing about your and you glossed over it all too quickly, but you've got a hell of a story there. You didn't talk about yourself, my friend.
No, there's some things you don't talk about, and there's a time and there's a place to do that also, that time will come.
Yeah, no,
that
Ian,
time will come.
Thank you again for your time today, and we will pick this up very, very soon, my friend.
No problem, if that's great.